hi guys.
Hi.
To start off with, I want to ask about your artist names, especially you, Dread Pitt, because your name is Tim.
Yes.
So could you maybe explain the choice of your artist name?
So yeah, Dread Pitt. I don't know if I need to explain it for everyone, but it's a derivative of Brad Pitt, obviously. But nowadays I see like more older people, they understand that, but the younger generation, I don't know if they know Brad Pitt or not, but they don't really seem to get it. So yeah, that's it, you know, Dread Pitt. And it was actually a friend of mine who came up with it back in the day where like 2012 or something. A lot of these like derivative names were made in the trap scene. So you had like Charlie Chaplin, stuff like that, and you know that's how it came up. He came up with Dread Pitt, and I went with it.
Nice, yeah. And what about you? Your name?
My name is Aristoteles. Real name, no gimmicks.
Real name? Oh, so nothing there. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so I can make it a little longer. It wasn't always my artist name. Actually felt like it was too big of a responsibility to carry the name Aristoteles, because I felt like, yeah, I needed to be the deepest person or the deepest artist to carry that name. In the beginning of my journey, my career, I really, I feel like I was, that person that, necessarily needed to do that. And then, you grow older and you have your own philosophies in life, and now we're just vibing with it.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. And what about you? What made you decide to stick with your name and not go to have maybe an artist persona?
I had a few personas back in the day when I was younger and starting out making music. I had different names. I went with diversity first because I was like, I was an artist. I felt like I was an artist that made diverse music. Then it transitioned into Div to make it a bit shorter, sweet. And eventually I just thought, man, I have such a cool name. Why shouldn't I just use this? It's the most personal name I have because, it's my name. Yeah. So eventually I just switched to Josimar Gomes, and it has ever been like since, I think, 2016. It never changed.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. And yeah, you?
Well, my name is Eugene Carty. My artist name is Mr. Carty. The reason I chose to use Mr. Carty is mostly because I didn't want everybody knowing my real name, first. And second is someone called me at a fest at an event one time. He said, "Hey, check out Mr. Carty. This man is a bad man." I just found it sound good. It sound like respect. It sound like bad man. It sound like everything. Someone just stick with that. Mr. Carty, straight off the bat.
Yeah, nice.
Thanks.
And by the way, before I use my name Dread Pitt, I made beats under the name The Real Deal. So there's basically like one artifact left in my computer where I save all my new tracks and everything. It's still under The Real Deal. Yeah. So that's the only thing that's left.
That's left, yeah.
No, that's not.
One comment. Yeah. The first time I stepped on stage with the name Mr. Carty, the lady just announced me. I did my stuff. I step off the stage and she said, "Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for Mr. Carty," and everybody started clap. And right away she said, "Our next contestant is the real Mr. Carty." And there's this dude that calls himself the real Mr. Carty.
No way.
So I did some work to find out who he is, and it seemed he was a cousin of mine from St. Martin. So I call him up, I link him up, I tell him, let's make a song, and we see who get the most reviews, and the person could keep the name. But we never did it, He just went back to St. Martin, and he probably still does it, but he does hip-hop, and I do dancehall, so right now I don't care whether he call himself the real, but in time we will see who the real Carty man. Straight!
Yeah, really funny coincidence, yeah.
Just think about putting us a bunker for the safety. And ride us all out now. Watch the rain fall right for the dry now. This life ain't what I'm all about. I think God said to don't fall apart. Hey, why don't we ride it all out? And watch the rain fall right for the dry now. This life ain't what I'm all about, no. I think God set the tone for us. I don't know what you got in store. Let me take you out on tour.
Did you guys all know each other before this garden production?
We never been in the same room together, I think, all of us. But, you know, I did studio sessions with every one of these guys. And, you know, you guys did a video clip together. I couldn't make it then. And then, you know, I was multiple sessions with Carty as well. But this is the first time linking up all in one place.
Yeah. So, yeah, sort of the first time that you guys all meet each other together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, because you invited them to be part of this garden live stream. What made you decide to pick these three artists?
I mean, I wanted to have a much more interactive and active show. You know, I didn't want to just like stand there and do my own thing because, you know, most of my songs have artists on them anyway. So, you know, these were the first guys I could think of, honestly. And I know, you know, they live close. I know they do shows live. They have experience. So, you know, it was 1 and 1 is 2. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it sort of aligns as well with what you do with music because you guys all come from a different cultural background as well, right?
Yeah, true. But, you know, we all do our own thing. But, you know, when we collab, you know, we can cross over a little bit, you know, in styles. And then, you know, it still works.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
Yeah. How is it all for you guys to collaborate with different artists?
I started doing a lot more with live instrumentation, and I feel like having multiple people in the room just gives you different perspectives and like different ears and different taste levels. So like, it's a lot more fun to like collaborate with different people, whether they're songwriters or musicians or just singers in general. So like I think it's gonna give your music a lot more depth than just being in studio with just a producer, you know. So like I'm having like right now I'm having fun with that, certainly, yeah.
Well, I'm usually a loner in the studio, so so whenever I have these encounters, like I just try to have fun. This is magic for me. Yeah. So every time I usually get my beats and then I come in the studio and I just go through them and I make up something. Comes out good usually. But when these type of sessions happen, especially something like this in the garden, where we all get to perform the songs and you get to see how he gets down, how he gets busy. You see Dread with the decks. Yeah, it just makes it even more fun.
Yeah.
As far as collabos and such, I enjoy making collabos because you have the diversity in the music. You have different tones. Some people are really high in the vocals. I'm really low in my vocals. So sometimes when you... Really? Okay. So when you blend them together, you get a perfect mix sometimes, you know? And also the opportunity to do certain things where you cannot do for yourself in a song. Because you could always finish the song in your own tone, but you know it could be just that extra when you put somebody that has this peak on the voice. And now when I listen to these guys, the diversity between them is just beautiful. But also they did a little piece together, and then you hear how beautiful it is. So it's just nice whether you're solo or whether you're together, but it's just more love, more people. It's just always there, you know. Straight.
Mash up the floor. Me know you know that thing, no. Me no come be joke with you. Man, I come kick down the door. Mash up the floor. Yeah, man. Burn them.
What he said.
What do you guys think is the biggest challenge when it comes to collaborating with, especially since you are all individual artists. So what's the biggest challenge when collaborating with someone? Because maybe sometimes you can have like a strict vision and the other person might not get it.
To be honest, like for me, the hardest thing is actually making it happen, because like I don't know what it is, but a lot of artists and a lot of producers just lack communication skills, you know. So even getting in the studio can be a challenge. You know, before that happens, like month will have passed, and you don't get anything done. And maybe you record something, and then, you know, you have to wait months for the second verse or something like that. Or, you know, you're still trying to make some tweaks, and then somebody disagrees, and, you know, a lot of time passes between that. So that I would say that's the hardest part. Yeah. You know, just finishing the actual collab.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys?
I think for most people, it's the ego, I think. Because a lot of people have like this certain, like you said, like a certain vision, or stick to their I think their sound. And a lot of people don't want to compromise, or don't want to take it like a different route, or maybe look at it a little bit different. I would say like most people would struggle with their ego, but also, yeah.
Yeah, I guess the important is to keep an
think that's
open
it for me.
mind, and when it comes to collaborating, if you see the person is an open mind, then there's no point really taking it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wants to say?
Nah, I don't have
Me personally, I think it has a lot to do with the passion. Because if you share the same passion, the love for the music there, the same drive, then it makes it a lot easier to communicate, to work together. Because some people, they just want to be on board something, but they ain't have the same passion as you. And when you're making sacrifices to achieve something, and I'm just joining you because I want to be part of it, but I don't bring the same passion, it usually don't turn out that good, you know. So it has a lot to do with your love and passion for what you're doing, and the fact that you're making sacrifices, because music is something, it takes a lot of sacrifice to make it. So it's just things like that, yeah.
Yeah.
respect for that.
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah. What made you guys get into music in general? Was it more of really a personal ambition, or did you guys have help with family and friends who would be like, you know, you should really do that? How was it?
Well, you know, when I started to get interested in music, I didn't have ambition for it or anything yet. You know, for me it was just like fun and trying different things. Even before making beats, I was just trying to play guitar and, you know, just making songs on guitar in my you know, living room or whatever. And, you know, it kind of snowballed slowly, you know, before anything like this happened. So what really got me into music was kind of, you know, if I look back all the way, it was, I can remember like one situation. I was like maybe 10 years old, was listening on music in headphones, and I was imagining like people sitting in my headphones, like playing instruments, you know, and I was already wondering like, how did they do this, you know, like how do they make this and stuff like that. And then fast forward, I had like Magic Music Maker on PS2, I think. And I was like way more interested in that than all my friends. So it kind of was there already, I guess. And then, you know, as soon as I got my hands on FL Studio, that was it for me. I still use that.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I come from like a theater background, so I was always like into not making music, but like singing. So like eventually, a friend of mine gave me like this book to write in lyrics. So he gave me this book to write the lyrics in, and then eventually I started out with poems first, like poetry, and then eventually it started out it transformed into actual lyrics. And I think I was 16 by the time, and I was a fan of Nas as well, so I was listening to New York State of Mind. Just put on the beat, I wrote something on that, and there was I think my first track I recorded was on New York State of Mind of Nas.
Yes.
And I think after that I just kept recording. There was this youth center where they would just give people the opportunity to record music without paying anything. So I was just there most of the times and just recording, just polishing up. And then, but yeah, it took till 2016 to actually pursue it, be professional about it. But yeah, I've been making music since 2011, 12, I think. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's now 2023. Goddamn. So yeah, this is quite some while. But yeah, that was the first time. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Well, for me, it started off as a little young kid that just loved music, going through my pop's CDs, because he had everything from Celine Dion to Tupac to Coolio to Michael Jackson. And then I encountered hip hop, only listened to a lot of Tupac. And then, funny story, I had a neighbor and he was like the flyest guy in the neighborhood. He had all the girls and shit, and I wanted to be like him. and he used to rap, so I was like, yo, can you teach me how to rap? And he was like, go write something, and the next day I'll see if you can rap. So I was like, I went home and I was stressing. I was like, what the heck am I going to write? I don't even know how to write. So one of my favorite songs at the time was Turn Your Lights Down Low from Bob Marley and Lauryn Hills. And I love that verse. So I was just like, F it, I'm going to just spit that verse. So we met up the next day, and me and him, and he started beatboxing, and then I spit that verse. And he was beatboxing, and then it stopped, and he was laughing. I was like, fuck, what did I do wrong? And he was like, nah, bro, you just sound so dope, man, your voice and your cadence. And I was like, word? He was like, yeah, you got to keep doing this. Nice. And they took off from there.
Yeah. And you sing in different languages, right?
Yeah, it's actually a first. So this is a premiere, which you heard. It's my next single coming out. It took me a while for me to do that. There were a lot of people in my circle that told me, "Hey, you should do Portuguese. You should really mix that in your, in your repertoire." And I was like, that's corny. I was like, that's corny. It's just like I needed to find the right pockets. I needed the right pockets where I could just make it sound the way I was just spit in the same way in English. So once I found it, I was like, all right, this could work, and now it's something new and challenging. So that's great.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, it's always good, to use what you have.
Yeah.
And explore more,
Yeah, and just adding new flavors. It's like cooking.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like cooking.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it's very simple, man. I used to love making music. Not music, but just singing and rapping, like they said. And I used to attend Dr. Martin Luther King School in Aruba. And the school was just a lot of freestylers, always battling and such and BMXing. So I couldn't really BMX, so I took up the battling and the rap. And eventually people just started giving me so much credit that I just started to step next to my shoes according to the Dutch people. And I came to Holland. And I wasn't self-aware. I didn't believe I could do it because I didn't like my voice and such. And I went to this show at Kwaku, and there was this guy called Pa Bennett, I know, from the Caribbean. And he just called me out in between everybody while they were playing, I'd be dancing, he'd be like, Carty, come up here. And I went to the stage, man, I'm telling you, my knees, them was like... Because I never stood before people like this before. And I come from a real small island, so it was strange, But when I did get up there and I took the mic, and the first thing that I said, people just, be like, what the fuck is this? Sorry for my language. But it really surprised myself, surprised a lot of people. And from that moment, people just started pushing me, like, you should do something with it. It still took something like 2 years extra before I really started. And then I wanted to do it more, because I really always had dancehall music from small. I'm listening to Buju Bounty, ninja man call it off, man. So I like the articulation, I like the style, and so I started to practice the patois a bit, you know. And eventually it was so that I went 1 year speaking patois here in Holland, no Dutch to nobody. So everybody talking to me and I see they automatically switch to English. So that means people really believe I'm Jamaican in my talk. So then I know I'm doing the patois good. So eventually I just fell in love with it and started from there, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm not no Jamaican. I come from Little Statia, smaller place in the Caribbean, but we got good artists over there too.
Catch me outside. I'm a gardener. I know my privilege, man. Under the stars, and I'm ready to die.
Whoa,
I feel with born, man. I'm levitating, and no need no mission, man. Hey, catch me outside. We charge the sun when I speak out these visions. Yeah, I come with love when I catch me outside.
So you guys are growing as artists, obviously. You guys are doing pretty good. But is there a dream venue and a dream artist you guys would really want to collab with?
The dream venue, like perfect venue for me would be Red Rocks, probably. I don't know if you know that. It's like in between huge boulders of rock, you know, and there's like a whole amphitheater going down, and then you got the huge stage there. So there's like people on different levels watching the stage, and then you're in the middle of these rocks. Amazing. So that would be that. And my dream collab would probably be Damian Marley. Yeah. I mean, he's so versatile. I'm sure I could make some fire with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Definitely. Let's start this side.
Me, I don't have much to say. I just want to make a tune with Steph London because she bad no bomber clad. For real, this lady, like, she knocking boots like left and right, man. So, and she consistent, you know. I really like Spice too, but yeah, man, keep it straight, man. I'm telling you. And as far as the location, I think next year for sure I'll be on the Reggae Hill. I mean the Reggae Rotterdam, Reggae Festival Rotterdam. And this is some place I really want to stand again because it's a beautiful venue. A lot of people come out and you always get the recognition and the love you're supposed to have at a show like that, you know. So, yeah, those are two things I would really love to do. Yeah, man, straight.
I'm gonna keep it short as well. I really want to perform at Afos Live. And my dream collab will be, I think, Pharrell Williams.
I got a whole list.
You got to pick the top
Shit.
one.
As far as the Netherlands goes, I would say definitely Paradiso because it's such a legendary location to perform at. Madison Square Garden and Coachella, those three, and yeah, Pharrell Williams.
As well.
That's the dream collaboration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
You got his number?
Yeah. Unfortunately not. Sorry, I forgot what it's. I had a question in mind. Give me a sec. Oh yes. What are your future projects looking like? Any new releases or tours, shows coming up for 2023?
To be honest, I just came back from a really long vacation. So I'm just now starting up again and, you know, seeing it by the moment. But I do have a lot of tracks, you know, kind of enough for an album to kind of release throughout the year. So that's what I'm gonna do for sure. Currently working on like I think it's gonna be an EP with a sync company. So they're gonna push it to advertising and stuff like that. So there's definitely always things going on. But, you know, this year I think I'll just take it a little bit more one step at a time, you know, take it a little bit more easy instead of trying to plan everything ahead too much, you know. And I just came up with that right now, so I'm probably gonna do that. Yeah.
Nice.
I actually dropped a remix like yesterday, Sandstorm remix. Also gonna shoot a music video for, actually in Lisbon. We were talking about Portugal earlier. I'm gonna shoot in Lisbon, and that's gonna come out in a few weeks. And then after that, I'm just gonna drop more singles, have more events with the singles. Cause like the previous single, I had made a painting, her interpretation of the song. I let her paint it, and then I had an exposition at the Dula studio, so people could come through, see the painting. I talk about the song. I perform the song. Had some guest artists as well, some friends actually. So I just want to do that more with each single I'm dropping. And then end of the year, probably the album. I think maybe after the summer or in the summer, I still have to see. But right now, it's just pushing out the singles I'm sitting on right now, and then see what happens. Also, take it one step at a time. This Sandstorm remix I dropped like in November. I mean, the original song I dropped in November already. The remix comes out in January. So like I'm just taking a few steps at a time, not rush. Try to drop something every month, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically it.
Well, I've been sitting on a bunch of music for a while now, so I'm ready to drop and release. My next single that's coming out called Outside. I'm performing it at the Garden, first premiere. And there's an album coming called Never Had Self-Care. Yeah, and there's a lot of singles coming with visuals, and I'm just ready to perform them, be in touch with people, and just touch on that subject about mental health, and yeah, just share that message.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. A few months ago, we brought out a song called Gal Skin Out, me and some cousins, and since then I've been working on some other tracks on my own. I really want to get more into the drum and bass right now, because I used to do that before, and it was something I really had liked. So doing dance all a while now, I just believe it's time to expand what we're doing, you know. And I was checking out like London and them. They have different types of way of moving with the music. So I would like to get over there with some of the drum and bass and stuff.
Yeah.
See these rascal them doing some nice stuff over there. So I just want to get myself in line to do some different stuff, you know.
For drum and bass, Bristol is interesting in the UK. That's a big,
Thank you.
big place for drum and bass.
Nice, man. I like drum and bass because it have a different vibe to it, you know. And people really lose themselves on the drum and bass. Man.
Yeah.
So I know you're bad enough too, you know. So I got the eye on you there, you know, dog. Know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, gonna be okay.
Nice. Yeah, let's wrap up this interview. I want to ask you all to choose one word that would best describe yourself as an artist. If anyone has one in mind right now, while the others can think.
Avocado.
Consistent.
Lover.
Respectful, man.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you guys for the interview, and looking forward for the show tonight in a few minutes. Well, a few minutes, yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks, guys.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. That's a wrap.
All right. Yeah.